time, yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, and tune in to Miss Liz. Tea time, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. Tea time.
Well, welcome to Tea Time. Miss Liz is here, and yes, it is not a Thursday. We have a surprise tea time. That's right, and we have returning guest Amanda Elo'esh, and she's here with a new program. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to do all the good stuff, disclaimer, a little bit of bio, and then we're going to get Amanda in here, and then we're going to have a short little video for you to play. I'm going to play for you, and you'll know a little bit more of what we're going to be talking about today. But today we're going to be talking about transformation, elevation, and alchemy. I think I said it right. If not, Amanda will let me know. But we're going to be serving you a different tea because when Amanda was on the first time, she talked about take everything as is. So you see, our teas change each and every day. So let's get the disclaimer going and let's get the bio and let's get Amanda in here and let's spill you a good TEA with a returning guest. Disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz myself is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that the content brought forward for any Tea Time show hosted by myself, Miss Liz, is always brought forward in good faith. However, may bring forth dialogues and opinions that are not representative of my platform. The facts and information are perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All Tea Time guests and audience participants are responsible for using their good judgment taking any action that may relate to the discussion. The content brought forward may include discussions for some where they may be emotionally at risk. It is significant to know that this show is engaging in discussion forums only to offer and inspire awareness and connection and is not providing therapeutical advice. If you have any questions about the disclaimer or the panelist discussion, you may freely contact me, Miss Liz, through my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. Moving forward, should you choose to voluntarily participate in today's show in any aspect, I myself, Miss Liz, welcomes you. And should you decide that the show is not made for you at this time, I respect those wishes and will see you at a later show at a later date and time. And again, all Tea Time shows are done on Thursday, 3 and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless it's a surprise tea time or a returning guest that has an update that is done on a Monday and Tuesday. So now a little bit on my guest. Well, who is Amanda? Well, Amanda Elo'esh is your quicker waker upper and has been receiving visions and guidance for these powerful times of uncertainty and transformation for 40 years. She's passionately pursuing academic and mystical innovation to help you access your inalienable sovereignty by eliminating painful subconscious patterns and core wounds keeping you limited and stuck. She received her master's degree in counseling psychology and expressive art therapy, as well as her certification in integrative medicine, guided imagery, and expressive arts from California Institute of Integral Studies, and has shared her gifts at California Pacific Medical Centers, Institutes, and Health and Healing, and Marin General Hospital. For more on Amanda, you can check out her full bio on Miss Liz's Facebook page. Let me get Amanda in here.
Hi.
Welcome, Amanda.
I threw a few curveballs in that bio, didn't I?
Oh, you did. I mean, like the tongue twisters, my tongue, sometimes it just gets all piled up, right? So Amanda, it's been a while since we've been together. So for the viewers who haven't seen your first Tea Time, let's tell them a little bit on who you are. So as a little girl, who were you and who are you now as a grown lady?
As a little girl, I was a mystic, a little bit of an outcast. I was very tall and went through puberty very early and was talking to and chasing unicorns, and getting profound downloads that people who, work towards enlightenment these are the things that they're working towards. And it was just part of my daily reality. And that, made for an interesting upbringing because I didn't had to kind of learn like what was normal for me was not normal for other people, and what's the difference between my reality and other people's realities. And been really also known since early on that I'm here to as a healer and to help people to heal their own lives, and been curious how I could use my gifts to help other people. And so I've been passionately pursuing spiritual education, indigenous wisdom lineages, academic pursuits to learn about human consciousness, psychology, growth, personal development, and learning how to apply it to bring more joy and positive transformation into the world.
And when you were on the show the last time, we talked about your tea parties and all
Yeah.
of that good stuff. And of course, Ms. Liz is a tea lady. So how has your tea parties gone since last time we talked?
They've been good. I'm kind of in a bit of a rural area, and so they kind of, sometimes they're full and sometimes they're not, but every time we play the tea party game, every time I bring it to a gathering, people have such deep and meaningful connections with each other. And so whether it's a big crowd or small group, it always seems to help people to connect, and that was really the purpose of it. So it's going really well in that sense. Yeah.
Well, sometimes the smaller groups connect a lot better, right? When it's too
Sure.
large, then you have a harder time to connect with one another.
Yeah, more intimate.
So today we're here because you have a new program out that I would like to talk about. So do you want me to start the video now so we can get a little bit into that?
Absolutely. Sounds good. Thank you.
So let us slide over to the side, and we're gonna get a little bit onto what we're here for today. Okay, and let me go.
Source Eris is not just a program designed to transform your untapped spiritual gifts into authentic expression that changes the world with sacred feminine and indigenous wisdom. It's a journey with teachers, mentors, and a sacred sisterhood, weaving the unique, authentic threads we each embody to create a beautiful, brilliant basket that can hold so much more than the sum of our parts. This invitation is not just to learn how to fully step into your power, embrace and dance with your shadow, and shine your light in a powerful way. It's an invitation to start your heroine's journey in a sacred feminine community full of individuals no longer compromising our authentic gifts just to belong. There is a great void in the world. So many religions and organizations are full of demands of conformity to be accepted. What if you could belong to a high vibration sacred sisterhood that celebrated you in your unique values, gifts, and even your vulnerabilities and your shadow? What if you could feel safe being fully seen and supported in taking courageous steps to share your gifts and your message without compromise? Beyond just the amazing curriculum, mystical transmissions, in-person retreats and ceremonies, and opportunities to learn, heal, and grow, this is a commitment to your soul contract, to honor your noble purpose and step into your full potential, side by side with a sacred sisterhood. We are the women who are here to save the world. We can't do it alone, but together we will make the change that is so desperately needed. Are you ready to say yes to the spiritual journey of a lifetime? If you're ready, Source Eris is here for you. Welcome, dear sister, and may the source be with you.
And there you have it. This is why we're here today. So Amanda, do you want to tell us a little bit more?
Yeah. Well, I'll start by saying part of my mystical journey was that I started receiving visions of the sacred feminine in different forms, giving me guidance through particularly difficult parts of my life. And that was really profound. And I don't know how I would have made it through these hard times. One particularly difficult time, I was having panic attacks, and yet able to really find peace and wisdom to navigate the intensity that was going on in my life without any regret, and just like, wow, how did I navigate that so beautifully? And it was because I was really listening to this higher source of wisdom. And that's part of what, and then as a result of that, and continuing to follow those mystical breadcrumbs, as I mentioned, I realized I had a very powerful connection with specifically the sacred feminine and archetypes that represent the sacred feminine, like the Great Mother, like the Goddess of Love. They have specific names in different cultures, but I like to keep it open for all to connect with. And I ended up being initiated as a priestess, and started to share the teachings from that particular lineage, and got guidance to start my own sacred feminine mystery school. And I called it Living Wisdom because it was about really helping anybody, honestly, not specifically women, but because it's sacred feminine focus, that's women tended to show up, but really to create, instead of teaching a template like this is what this means, and this is what this means for you, and this is what you should do and believe in, the guidance that I got was to create a safe container and a sacred container to help other people to really tune in to something greater than them that wishes them well. You know, God, goddess, source, great mystery. We all have different names for it, but we all have this permission and invitation to tune into something greater than us to help us move beyond our wounds and our frailties and limitations as mere humans. And so I started calling it Living Wisdom because it was about being in an actual relationship with Source, so that we can listen to, learn from directly, instead of letting somebody else or needing somebody else to tell us, well, you got to believe this, and you got to eat this way, and you got to vote that way, and you got to dress like this to be saved. And to recognize that I feel like we all have individual soul contracts that we're here to fulfill. And the way that I'm fulfilling that may look very different than somebody else, especially somebody else in another part of the world. So that was the invitation from Source to help people to access that for themselves. So I called it Living Wisdom. I was bringing people through 13 different initiations with these different sacred feminine archetypes, called Living Wisdom. And then I got guidance to start a nonprofit. And so it went from a sacred feminine mystery school into a church. I'm using air quotes because it's not really, it's a dogma-free church. And it was really, again, creating these ceremonial, safe and sacred settings for people of all walks of life, diverse folks, to come together and to learn, heal, and grow. And I ended up focusing on just the sacred feminine was influencing me for sure, but there were a lot of different things, different lineages, indigenous wisdom that had informed how I was facilitating these ceremonies. And over time, I just ended up focusing on serving all genders and kind of letting go of specifically walking through these initiations with the sacred feminine. And last year, I started getting the nudge to reopen that, to start this journey again, because there is something very important about the sacred feminine and the heroine's journey. It's very different than the hero's journey in if you look at storytelling and movies. The hero's journey is kind of, in a way, like, we all love it. We all love those adventure movies, but they really perpetuate some worn out, unsustainable themes that I feel like need to shift for the world to make the transformation that it needs to make, which is the hero's journey is lone wolf. I'm doing it all by myself. My vulnerabilities I have to hide. And if somebody finds out about my vulnerabilities, they're going to use them against me. And so it's seen as, being a human, having any kind of imperfection or weakness is bad. And, and it's about destroying an enemy. And the heroine's journey is about healing. It's not about conquering somebody or something. It's about healing. And you can be any gender, for the hero or the heroine's journey. So, but you're going on a healing journey. You're gathering together the people who are like-hearted and on the same mission as you. You are honest about your vulnerabilities and recognize you can't do it on your own. And so you gather the community with you to weave together your strengths to accomplish a bigger thing that any one person could do on their own, and bring something beautiful into the world that wouldn't have happened otherwise. And I feel like that's a theme that we need to be focusing on to heal. It's in alignment with Indigenous wisdom. It's definitely in alignment with the sacred feminine. And so I got the prompting to recreate the sacred feminine journey. And so I sat and prayed and meditated about it for months. And I have never spent this much time putting together a program. But it includes not only myself, but a collective of guest teachers, all women who are from diverse walks of life, different backgrounds in many different ways, so that there's more than just one voice offering wisdom. We're actually going on a journey. It's not like, let me teach you how to be a leader. It's like, let's all get together. Yes, some of us have been a little further down the path and we can be mentors, but we're all going to take this journey with the sacred feminine and do the heroine's journey together so that we can all be vulnerable. We can all explore our shadow in a safe way, not be exploited for it, but be supported, and to also shine our light and be lifted up as a community, helping each other to raise up together much greater than the sum of our parts. And so I'm really excited about it. There's a online only version for people, because I'm in the Bay Area, and people are welcome to come for the retreats and the ceremonies that we're having that are a part of this program, but not everybody has the resources to come and show up for the in-person things. Like, you're in Canada. So
like I said before we went live, I wish I was closer.
I know. So, some people have flown from all over the world to come and work with me in person, but that's not everybody's reality. And so there's, I made it so that you can just participate online, or you can do the whole thing.
So for them to do the whole thing, they can do the whole thing online, or they have to do it in
the
person?
whole thing means online and in person.
And in person. Okay.
Yeah. There are a couple of retreats. There's a beginning retreat. I don't know if you've heard of Mount Shasta, but it's kind of it's seen as one of the really sacred places on the planet. Some people have seen high vibration beings. Apparently, some of the monks that left Tibet, they flew over Shasta, and they're like, when the Dalai Lama was exiled from China, from Tibet, there were apparently all these holy beings that were a part of that sacred land. And these monks said that when they flew over, they recognized that these holy beings were now at Mount Shasta. And there have been all kinds of mystical stories and mythologies and sightings. And it's a really sacred place. And so the first retreat is going to be there. I'm not sure where the second retreat will be, maybe there as well, but it will be at the end of our 13-month journey. So we'll have a retreat at the beginning to connect everybody, a retreat at the end to celebrate. And then the people that are doing the full program, which includes the in-person, will also get some passes to come and sit with me in my medicine ceremonies throughout the year.
So Amanda, you said 13 months for the program?
Yeah, 1 month for every sacred feminine archetype that we will be exploring.
Oh, do you want to tell me a little bit more about the 13 months?
Sure. We start out with the Great Mother, which is a lot of connecting with the womb, connecting with Mother Earth, learning how to be in a sacred relationship with the earth. Then the second one is the goddess of compassion. So learning forgiveness and compassion towards self and others, safe boundaries, sacred boundaries. The third one is the priestess, the archetype of the priestess. So learning how to be of service, be a temple keeper, be a ceremony leader, an oracle worker. The fourth one is the creator, the creatress, the triple goddess of birth, life, and death. So tuning into the cycles of life, tuning into honoring that we're not always just trying to preserve and have fun and elevate, that the whole cycle of life means letting things pass, letting things move through, to cycle through. And then we have the Lady of Communion, which is connecting with nature, with the elements, in a more indigenous mind kind of way. Then the Muse, learning how to work with spontaneity and creativity and the fairy realms. And then the Goddess of Love, really learning to honor the body as a temple and do deep healing and nourishing through through pleasure, healing through pleasure. And then the Primal Goddess, which is really about authentic self-expression and healing sexual shame and body shame. And then we have the Initiatress, who is wielding the sword of truth. She initiates change. She speaks her truth. She's a catalyst. Then the Wise Woman, who's more of the elder, who brings the wisdom of the ancients and the more connection again with earth medicine, herbs, and sacred medicines. And then Spider Woman, who is connected with the dream world and manifestation and the spells that we cast with the words that we speak, and how to work positive magic through our storytelling and through manifestation practices. And then the Queen of Death, which is about really learning how to surrender and release and allow ourselves to go fallow, just like the earth, so that we can renew and to honor the underworld and the sacredness of death, and to learn how to hold space for that. And then the final one is the Alchemical Goddess, which is turning the difficult things in our lives into the gold.
Oh, I love it. We end up with the gold. It's like a broken teacup, and we're putting it all together with the gold. Amanda, this is what I told you the last time when you were here, right? It always comes back to the tea. It always comes back together. I love it. I just want to.
The broken teacup comes back together with the gold,
right? It's just amazing. Like we have a couple comments here. I'm just going to read them out to you,
beautiful.
And I want to do special shout outs for some viewers that are listening. I want to give a shout out to Irocu Authenticity, Arndt, my cousin in Norway, Mental Health Warriors, Pepper Ann, who was also a Tea Time guest, Eddie Smith, who was also a Tea Time guest. So thank you for all your support, guys, and for tuning in. I really appreciate that. But we have a comment here from Adam, and he says, we can only grow if we are surrounded by like-minded, supported people.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that diversity is really helpful. There have been a lot of different studies showing that If we only stick to what's familiar, there's a sense of safety for sure. And we can go deep in that when we feel really safe, and there's benefit to it. And when we push our edges and expose ourselves to things that kind of break us out of our comfort zone, make us think differently, help us to see a different perspective, I think that's really important. I actually, we have people that come to ceremony, and some people rub me the wrong way, just something about their personality. But I really value that they show up and feel safe. And even though it's not easy, I appreciate that they're there because they're helping me to stretch myself. So yes, it's good to surround ourselves with the people that are fully aligned, that we can drop in and rest. That definitely can promote growth, but I think we need both. I think we need the people that ruffle our feathers a little bit, and even if it helps us to get more clear on, like, yeah, I'm really not that way, but sometimes I've been like, oh my gosh, I didn't really like that person, but now I just appreciate them so much. And I'm so grateful for how I see the world now, because I let myself spend time with somebody I wouldn't have normally.
And we talked about this when you came on the first time, is, we need to learn to sit with people that are sometimes not aligned with us in order to open up new connections and open up new doors that we might have not ever seen had we not sat with that person that ruffles our feathers.
Yeah.
I know I grow a lot from people who ruffle my feathers, because I'm just like, why are they ruffling me so much? What is within me that is getting so defensive and getting so, I'm coming for you, like the goddess of sword coming for you. And but we talked about comfort zone, the comfort zone within ourselves. If we just sit in the comfort, how do we actually flow? And all of the months that you're talking about is an actual growth process of
It is profound.
Of releasing and letting go, because we're so comfortable and we get comfy, right? And then we're like, no, we got it all. We're all healed. We're all fixed. We're all. And I just had a meeting just before this tea time, Amanda, where we were talking about that, where, we get so comfortable sometimes that we just stop our process. We stop the growth. We stop the movement, because sometimes the universe is telling us to go in a different way. And I think this is what this program has done for you, is it's taking you in a different way, because it has got you to go back in Wonderland. So let's talk about Wonderland, because I love when you talk about Wonderland, because I'm the Wonderland girl. So I honestly thought Alice in Wonderland was written about me, and the movie was about me when I was a little girl.
It was. I got to just recently visit, I think it's the world's largest private collection of Alice in Wonderland. It's like a library, but also different kind of paraphernalia, like belt buckles and hookah pipes and Alice Little's, like this, I don't even remember the name of the instrument. It's almost like a little mini piano, but it's flautina is what it's called. Some stuff that belonged, quite a few things that belonged to Lewis Carroll. It was amazing. And it's not far from where I live.
Wow.
Pretty incredible. It was fascinating. You can check it out. I shot some video on the Go Ask Alice. It's on Instagram, Go Ask Alice Oracle on Instagram. You can check out
checking that
video. It's really great. And as I was telling you, I've got the Oracle. It's an Oracle and Tea Party game. So you draw a card and look up the Oracle meaning. And then there are meditations that go with every single Oracle meaning. And then you flip the book over and use the cards to look up fun tea party interactions. And actually I learned that when you have, I'll show people, I'm going to grab it. It's right here. Always have it on hand. So this is the Oracle side, and then you flip it over and it's the tea party side. I learned that there are actually a few Alice in Wonderland themed books that have this style that you flip them over. It's called tête bêche, which in French, and it kind of loosely translated means like head over heels.
Oh. And I know the last time you were on, you did a card reading.
Yes.
You had
I can do another card reading, but what I was starting to say is that a lot of people love just meditation. And so I have gone through and taken out all of the meditations, and I'm just doing a book on just the meditations themselves. And it's called Who Are You? Wonderland Meditations for Mindful Magicians, Mystics, and Alchemists. And I'm about to upload it onto Amazon. It's got some really cool AI imagery that I created, but all the words I are me. No AI created words. Just don't believe in that. And we'll be recording the meditations and uploading them on Audible, and it will be by the same name, Who Are You? Wonderland Meditations for Mindful Magicians, Mystics, and Alchemists.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's kind of on theme. And yeah, so let me grab the cards, just fell down here. Let me grab them. Come on. Let's do a tea. We'll do the tea party as well. So put your breath on it. All right. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Ooh, all right. Oh, the mouse.
Oh, I got a mouse.
Mouse. He's the one with the long, he's holding his tail. He's got the long, sad tail. So we'll look up the oracle or the tea party. The mouse. The mouse. The mouse, the quote from Alice in Wonderland, mine is a long and sad tail. The mouse does indeed have a long and sad tail, but nobody wants to hear it. This is a party. Since we are in the looking glass, let's turn this mouse on his head. Take a moment to think of a really short and silly or happy tale and share it. So instead of a long, sad tale, it's a short and happy or short and silly tale.
So something funny. Ooh.
Short and funny.
Short and funny.
You have a short and funny story to tell us?
Oh my goodness. Now you got me thinking. You know, the only thing short and funny that I get from is my little granddaughter. You know, she has these big imagination, and she opens up a door of wonder. So short and funny would have to be my little Ray Ray. The way that she looks and processes tea. She's got that inner word. So she's my little mouse. Like she's you know, we had tea time, and she created her own little tea pie by putting grapes and crackers and stuff together with a little bit of homemade tea and mixed it up and called it a tea pie. So yeah, you know,
sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just funny moments, right? And she's just my little eyeball of tea. Like, you know, she has a lot of stories for Grammy. So
that's so sweet. I love it.
So Amanda, I want to get into how much does it cost for the program for the 13 months? And can they do like they do a half program? Like, how does that work? Like, can they do payments?
Yeah. So for the full program, like I was like, how you know, how much should I charge for this? And I added it all up with all of the monthly transmissions and the 2 full retreats and ceremony passes. It's worth around $20,000 for the full big program. I have a super early bird special right now that's $69.97, which is really pretty great. That, like I said, that includes 2 full 2.5-day retreats covering, you know, food and board and ceremony passes and all of the monthly transmissions for me and the guest teachers. And there's a woman who does intuitive numerology and astrology energy forecasts for each month that I find so helpful to help me navigate what's coming up each month. There's going to be so many beautiful embodiment practices, dance practices, all the things I mentioned that we'll be covering and more. And then the online program, I think there's also a super early bird that's $29.97. And all of these can be broken down into 13 monthly payments. So I don't recall what that breaks down into, but it's less than $300 a month, like $280 a month, I think, for the online only. And that super early bird is kind of like a soft open, because I haven't really started, like yours is the first place I'm really talking about it publicly. I am sharing about it with friends and people who've done work with me before, and it is starting to fill up. And so there's a limited amount of those super early bird passes. So anybody who's interested, it's very auspicious that I'm talking about it really live for the first time on your program. Anybody that's interested should contact me right away for online or in-person super early bird discount. And then it will go up. And then the final price for the full program, the full source heiress. And I hope you understand the meaning of it, right? It's like we're the inheritors of source, and we're learning how to reclaim that for ourselves. Is $88.88, which is still it's less than half of what the program's actually worth when you add up all the individual parts. But it's still an investment. And the whole point is that it is not just a financial investment. It's a deep commitment to step in and to be a part of this powerful community, to show up for each other and to really make our own unique spiritual path, whether it's Christian influenced or Buddhist or completely unique or something else or a combination of things, to really show up and honor what is true for us and be supported so that we can heal the things that are holding us back and help us to move forward and really share our spiritual gifts that I feel like we're all here. If we're living at this time, we all need to be sharing our spiritual gifts to help make the world a better place. And I know that you and anybody that would be showing up want to make the world a better place. And we all have our unique ways of doing that. And trying to do it alone is overwhelming. But doing it in a sacred community it's the new way. We have to stop trying to do everything on our own.
Well, we really have to stop doing everything and be that lone wolf, right? And I'm only muting myself because we have some construction going up upstairs, and I don't really want it in the background. So I'm letting you speak, and then I'm muting myself so we don't have that ruffle. But I want to talk about the 8888 because you mentioned the 8888. Can you tell us why that number?
I love that number because the 8 represents infinity. You know, if you turn it on its side, it's the symbol of infinity, and it also is a sign for me of sacred reciprocity. So the work that I do for our nonprofit, the work that I do with my clients, I used to charge like industry standard, you know, and make as much money as I could, which is great. Not a problem with that. But I am now in a place where it's more important to me to be of service. And so I charge what I need to stay sustainable, to continue to provide services through our nonprofit. We offer partial and full scholarships for people in financial need. And so it's about that sacred reciprocity and holding good boundaries for myself, but also giving a lot, and then receiving what we all need to keep things going. When we have a balance of it, it's sustainable and really beautiful. When we get really greedy or afraid and start grasping and trying to hoard and take, things go out of balance. So it has a lot of mystical meaning. And 88 I think in Chinese philosophy or beliefs is also a number of good luck and prosperity. So it's got a lot of good vibes in a lot of different cultures. And also this year, 2024, if you add up 242, it's an 8 number year. So there's just a lot of meanings behind it.
So Amanda, I love the number 8. 8 represents a good number in my life. But 8 also means a transformation, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was one of your words that you gave me.
Yes.
So let's get into transformation.
Yeah. Well, transformation is a word that's used a lot. For me, it means I usually always assume something positive about it. Transformation means going from one state into another state. And again, because I always attribute something positive, although you could transform in a negative way, but I always attribute it in a positive way, moving from one reality into another reality that's better. So growth, ascension, elevation, those are all kind of synonymous for me. And but the transformation can be scary. And we avoid the scary. We stay in our comfort zone. So we stay stuck and we don't do the growth, and we don't get to go onto the other side where we've expanded our vision, we've expanded our wisdom and our strength and our personal expertise. So that transformation requires a bit of a leap of faith to navigate, because the change is not always easy, and we tend to want to resist change, but it's a natural part of life if you want to keep living. The seed has to quit being a seed and crack open to become a sprout, and the sprout has to also kind of transform, become something else to turn into the plant, and then the bud has to break open to become the flower and fruit. And there's always death and change as a part of life and growth.
And we're going to go into the next word because that kind of just falls right through, is the elevation.
Yes,
Planting a
elevation.
seed. So let's get into the elevation.
Elevation. I like the word elevation. I wrote a book called Elevation Ship about turning relationships into opportunities for growth. And elevation for me is about, I always try to stay focused in each moment, whatever comes my way, especially if it's something challenging. What can I bring to this experience right now that can elevate it? Instead of like, oh, this is a problem, complain about it, victimize by it, or grapple with it and stay stuck in the wrestling with it. Instead, it's like, well, get into creativity, get into curiosity. What can I bring to this experience to make it as beautiful and helpful and healthy as possible?
I like that you said healthy, because we don't talk about healthy comfort zones and elevation all in one. And you brought all three of them, and you talked about the transformation of seeds, sprout, plant, bud, flowers, fruit. It's a process, and that's what your program is all about, is the process and journey. And I like that you're doing it in 13 months, because you're not doing it in 1 month. Like in 30 days, you're going to have all of this. You're taking us on a journey, and it's building a relationship within 13 months with incredible people.
I feel like a lot of the magic is going to be in the relationships that are formed. And that's really a huge part of it, is forging powerful, helpful allyships, partnerships, sisterhood relationships. So many of the beautiful things I've been able to accomplish have come from just a conversation with somebody where they inspired a new possibility for me. As we were talking before, expanding ourselves by exposing ourselves to new perspectives. And I wouldn't have been able to do any of that without the relationships in my life.
And I want to go to the last word of your T, I'm going to get you to say, because I know I didn't say it right, because I seen you grinning one.
Alchemy.
Alchemy. See, I wasn't even close, guys. And this is why my guests help me. They push Miss Liz, because sometimes my tongue just doesn't pronounce it right. So let's talk about the alchemy.
Alchemy is kind of similar. It's like if you put transformation and elevation together, you have alchemy. So alchemy is the ancient alchemists, literally, they were working with base metals like lead and mercury, trying to make gold. And the metaphor of alchemy is working with things that are more difficult, more dense, to elevate, to create something that's better than what you started with. So transforming lead and mercury into gold. A symbol of alchemy is the lotus, because the seed grows up from the mud through the water and up, and then it reaches and opens up to the sky and is this beautiful thing that emerged from the mud. So there are all these different, and the butterfly, right, starts as a caterpillar, turns into this beautiful winged creature. So alchemy is about working to transform something into a more elevated form.
You know what, Amanda? I've seen growth in you since the last time you've been here.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Like, even in your tea, because your first tea was take everything as is, and now you're like, no, we're got a transformation here. We got to move, man. We got to really spill the tea and join it with the gold. I love that you brought it back with the gold at the end, because we really got to start taking our broken pieces and putting them together, mending them together. We don't talk about the broken pieces enough. When we hear the word broken, everyone thinks of weak. I look at broken as strength, as bravery, as courage, because you're able to say, I broke for the light to come in.
Exactly. That Leonard Cohen song, Forget Your Perfect Offering, ring the bell that still can ring. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in.
I really think that we need to start talking about more broken. Stop being afraid of the broken. Let's
open.
Right? Broken open. Let's just bring it open. Let's just break that cup and let's just
it's like a seed shell.
Right? Everyone out there, if you got a cup, just break it.
Not this one. Not at least till I empty it out.
So Amanda, the one word that you gave me to describe yourself was visionary. Why don't you tell me why that word?
Because I have received a lot of visions from source that have guided me and have led me to a lot of growth, a lot of transformation, a lot of elevation, helped me to heal being a human that's gone through a lot of traumatizing experiences. And instead of being lost in a sense of victimhood and disempowerment, I really am grateful for my life and have been able to use all of my experiences, especially the traumatizing ones, to help other people. And if it wasn't for being able to receive those visions and trust them, I don't know what I would have done. And then I also feel like having that gift of being a visionary and seeing how precious it is to me has helped me to deepen my commitment to be of service to other people, to get as much access to their own ways of receiving those messages from God, Creator, Great Mystery, as possible, because it is a beautiful gift. I think that we all have access in some form or another if we give ourselves permission and time to cultivate that relationship.
I really don't like the noise that's up here, but I
can't hear it. I don't hear it. So
I am so glad you don't hear it. And for any listeners out there, I am sorry if you do hear the rattling up there. They're doing a construction up there up above me. So, but Amanda, I want to get into your favorite color, because we talked about this, the importance of color. I want you to tell me what your favorite color is, because I know that it changes.
It's always different. I don't really have a favorite color. It's really about the vibration. So you know, there may be a car that's painted a beautiful color, but it's like car paint. But I may see that color in the sky, and because it's alive, wow, it's really speaking to me in that moment. So it's more about the energy I'm feeling coming from what's creating that color in that moment. You know, the flash of that brilliant magenta on the neck of a hummingbird as it flies by. So I love all the colors, just in the whatever the context that they show up in. I tend to wear a lot of teals because they look good. I tend to wear a lot of like creamy whites because they look and feel good. But I love all the colors.
Well, we talked about this. The creamy white leads to the lighter gold. Because the last time you were on, we talked about the colors. And that's why I asked you to tell me what your favorite color was. Because the last time you were on, you're like, Miss Liz, I don't really have a favorite color. Like, I kind of just go with the vibrations. And that's why I asked that question, is what your favorite color is. Because everybody has some relationship to a color. Either it's a favorite memory, the flow of it. It represents the sky, the water, the blue, the grass, you know. So you're creamy whites. And you're wearing a creamy white beige shirt today.
Yes.
Right? So
yeah.
It's the universe that is speaking, like, loud and clear. So I want to know about this creamy white.
Well, I mean, it's light. It creates lightness. And I felt light and happy and joyful today. And I really like this top.
Well, I really like it. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I wear a lot of white. It's a traditional color to wear in ceremony. It tends to not absorb heavy energies. So you know, the white reflects light. So I like to be a reflection of the light in the world. So it's symbolically works for me.
Let's talk about those ceremonies, because you brought the word ceremony up. So what type of ceremonies do you hold, Amanda?
We do a few different kinds. I do a monthly cacao and sound healing that we have a 10-year-old boy who comes to, and he actually had a really profound healing where he faced some fears and some anger and had a really powerful cathartic experience, and he loves it. We have people of all ages, all walks of life. And cacao is ceremonial chocolate for people that aren't familiar. It's just like hot chocolate, but it's a ceremonial cup. It doesn't have some of the same things that go into commercial hot chocolate. And then we serve sacred plant medicines. Once a month, we serve a medicine called Huachuma, also known as San Pedro. And then we also serve, and it's very heart opening, creates a lot of clarity. It can bring people into visionary experiences, but it's not super common. And then we offer a monthly ceremony with acacia and Syrian rue, which has the same chemical compounds found in the ayahuasca brew, but from 2 different plants. And these plants are a lot more, they grow more, it's much more environmentally friendly to harvest them than it is to harvest the ayahuasca plants.
So is that like the psychedelic mushrooms and stuff like that?
Mushrooms are psilocybin based. Ayahuasca and the acacia Syrian rue is a DMT and an MAOI. Very visionary, can definitely be visionary and similar. Some people will say that the psilocybin journey and the ayahuasca journey, that they have some similarities, and I can see that.
And the reason that I ask that is because a lot of people, when you say visionaries, right, when taken from plants, they automatically assume the mushroom, right. So, and I think in Alice in Wonderland, isn't the caterpillar on a mushroom?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And smoking a hookah pipe.
Right? So if anybody would like to reach you, Amanda, how can they reach you?
You can reach me at, if it's easy, you've got eloesh.com. There's a contact form, but you're also welcome to just send me a personal email message at amandaeloesh@gmail.com. You can see how it's spelled here, Amanda Elo'esh, without the little
The hyphen
apostrophe in there, all one word, without the little apostrophe, at gmail.com and Elo'esh.com. The source Eris. I don't think there's a contact form on there, but Elo'esh.com, there's a contact form and that personal email address. And feel free to reach out to me about our plant medicines, about the Source Eris program, or anything else, the Go Ask Alice Oracle. There's so many different fun things and a lot of beautiful resources. Some of them are free. Some of them are very, very low, fee. And then some of them are, bigger investments. So if you're interested and want to learn more about any of it, please feel free to reach out. No obligation to invest thousands of dollars unless that feels like that's your calling.
So Amanda, for the program that we're talking about today on Tea Time, can they find it under the shop?
They can go to sourceeris.com, and that was popped up earlier. Source and then Eris is in the female inheritor. Sourceeris.com, and that will give all of the information. Again, I haven't really promoted it, but the website is up. Some of the links are not complete, meaning if you click on something, it might not go to anything yet. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and you can purchase that super early bird discount. There are like 2 left for the full program. There are a few more than that left for the online program.
So when does the early bird end?
I believe it ends in April, but it also ends as soon as they're gone. So it'll go up at the end of April, but it will also, there's only a couple left. So once those are gone, they're gone. Then it will go. There's a next tier of $79.97. So it's still a pretty big discount.
So when does the program actually start?
Great question. We start in the 1st of July. The
Awesome.
first part of July, and the retreat will be over our Independence Day weekend.
Oh, awesome. So we got that July 1st. And the website is there for anybody that would like to check it out. If you'd like to just spell it out for the audio listeners so they can check it out.
Source is in SOURCE. Eris, HEIRESS.com. Sourceeris.com, as in a play on the word sorceress. More about the sacred inheritance that we all are reclaiming in this lifetime.
Awesome. So what's your final message to all the listeners today?
My what?
Your final message.
My final message, your life is sacred. And the more you trust treating your life in a sacred way, even when it goes against what you're told you have to do to survive or fit in, you'll be supported.
And yeah. Amanda, before we pass on and we close the live up, I want to know, do you have a book out for anybody that would like to buy the books? Is that in the shop on the website?
You can go, the Go Ask Alice Oracle is available. I just am selling it also on Amazon now, but you can get a free reading, goaskaliceoracle.com. And then, and I can send you the link. I don't know how it'll go, but Elevation Ship is a book that is out on Audible and on Amazon. It's spelled Elevation plus Ship, ELEVATIONSHIP. The subtitle is Replace Conflict with Greater Intimacy. It's a quick read. You can get it on Audible. If you're not a big reader, you can get it on Amazon. And it has some guides for working with triggers in relationships so you can end broken record arguments and turn your conflict into greater intimacy.
Okay, and I found a book called Unlock Your Success Codes. Is that available on Amazon as well?
Yeah, that's also available. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. See,
it's older though. I recommend Elevation Ship. It's kind of like the elevated version of Unlock Your Success Code.
Well, you had to elevate. You had to start somewhere, right?
Right. That's right.
Well, I had a real pleasure having you back
Me
and sitting
too.
and getting to know. And I got the little most. I'm still looking for that funny story because I know that Ray Ray's soup was not a funny story, but I know
It
that
was
there is a funny story.
it didn't have to be funny, more like short and happy.
Short and
And
happy.
that was sweet. That she runs in and wants to do tea and make funny little tea cakes is very sweet.
Absolutely.
I'd rather hear that than a long sad tale any day.
Right? And the most had a long sad tail, and we turned it into a happy moment.
Yeah.
And so
Transformation and alchemy all happened
absolutely.
before our very eyes.
It's been a blast. And I want to thank all the viewers and listeners who have tuned in. And for anybody that's going to watch the replay, please push hashtag replay. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We always like to hear from that. You can find Miss Liz on all podcast stations. You can also find me on 2 radio stations, WFRM in the UK and Ulster Radio in Ireland. And Miss Liz is working on a 3rd radio station that will be posted soon. So you can check Miss Liz out on all of those. If you want to know more, check out www.misslizsteatime.com. And I will see everybody on Thursday for 2 new TEAs. We have a returning guest again on Thursday, so look forward for that. Check out the website and you'll see all the goodies that Miss Liz is bringing to you. Until then, everyone, keep serving your tea and keep being true to yourself.
Thank you.